Swamiji will be back today, but he told me to take all the classes, including the classes, today, and he will start from tomorrow. So today you are stuck with me. He will be back sometime this morning, but he will rest a little bit. Perhaps after lunch you can go pay your respects. Look him up if you want, if he's there, you can check. Om Shruti Smriti Purana Namavi Bhagavad Shankar Yoga Shankar 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 Keshavam Bhagavaya Sutra Bhashya Kritam Vande Bhagavantao Punah Ishvaro Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyoma Vidya Devaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah Uparasbandhapalo Vai Uparastanivartakana Andhakara Nirodhitva Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhavatu Sahadevam Karnavati Kesasthena Adhitamastu Mandisha Mande Om Krishna Krishna You can hear in the back, yes? Yesterday we saw how the nature of the I is not something attainable by actions, finite, results of action, finite. What I want is the infinite. And we also saw how it is eminently better to be the seeker of the infinite than to be an infinite seeker. Infinite seeker means the quest never comes to an end. You keep trying every single fad that is there. Catch the nose, somebody says. Catch the toes, somebody says. Cross the eyes. At the end of it, you get cross. That's what. Not that these are not important, but they have their place. They have their sphere. Catching the nose is fine. Keeping maunam is fine. Even if it doesn't benefit you, it will benefit everybody around you. Your maunam. Very nice. Silence is good. Everything is good. But what is the sadhana? What is it that I want has to be made clear. What is the sadhana for what I want? Sadhya, goal, sadhana means. So the right kind of means have to be deployed for the goal at hand. Otherwise, we keep going, goal. Goal in Hindi means round and round. If the goal is not clear, we keep going round and round. First, the goal has to be clear. I want to be free of the notion that I am bound, of the notion that I am not acceptable, of the notion that I have something I cannot, I have something that I cannot accept, of the notion that I am alienated, of the notion that I am prone to self-judgment, of the notion that I am assailed by self-critique. I have to be free of all these notions, that I'm separate from everything, that I have been targeted, of the notion that I have been played, of the notion that I got the short end of the stick. Short end of the stick means everybody else has been treated fairly. I alone have been treated unfairly. Of the notion that this is a terrible world full of horrible things. And here I am plunged into this world having to deal with this. And this is moksha. I have to be free of that. This is the goal. I have to be free of sorrow. I have to be free of sorrow. I have to be free of fear. Why? Because I don't like sorrow. Nobody likes sorrow. Who likes sorrow? Tell me. Raise your hand. I love sorrow. Nobody is going to. In any country, you take a survey. Nobody is. Who wants to be afraid? Please raise your hand. Nobody will do that. Who wants to be angry? Nobody will do that. I thought she was raising her hands, but she was driving away a bug. That is not very concerned. Nobody will do that. This is the universal quest. I want to be free of sorrow. I want to be free of fear. I want to be free of all the difficult and challenging feelings by which I feel bound. Therefore, moksha is described as a freedom from a notion of bondage. This is what I want to be free. How are you going to be free of something you are already free of? It's like the man who went to God, went to Bhagavad and said, "Oh Lord, give me a head on my shoulders." And the Lord said, "You are talking to me because you already have a head on your shoulders. A head I can't give. I may have a regret that I wish I had given you a better head so that you would have thought properly. But a head I can't give. Another one I can give. Tell me where you want it. You want it side by side, so you can be part of a freak show and earn some money that way. You want it double decker, like the Indian buses, one on top of the other. Or maybe you want it back to back, so you can confuse your loved ones. They don't know whether you are going or coming. How do you want it? I can't give you a head. A head you already have. I can't give what is already there because it is given. This is the funny predicament of this pursuit called moksha. You come to an ashram seriously. Oh, Guru, if you want knowledge, wear white, come to class, get reprimanded if you are late, and then just sit there and listen, I'm getting moksha, I'm getting moksha, I'm getting closer to moksha. And that's why we chant this other prayer in the beginning. Ishvaraha, Guruhu, Atma, Bhagavan, Guru, and the Shishya are all one. There's no difference, it's all one. The difference is as though. The difference is just for the sake of, from the standpoint of this empirical reality. And the difference is maintained for the sake of gaining this knowledge. The difference between oneself and the teacher is the last frontier The perceived difference is the last frontier of duality. We keep it going until it resolves. Somebody told me, I think I was having a conversation with a Buddhist monk in Ladakh, and he told me, "Oh, have you heard of the expression, when you are ready, the teacher appears?" I said, in Vedanta, we do things slightly different. When you are ready, I said, the teacher disappears. As you, into you. That is the oneness that we are talking about. It is not that the teacher is teaching, I am God, but you are God. No, that is not Vedanta. That is not Vedanta. And so here, how are you going to get this knowledge? How are you going to get something that you already have? This is the funny predicament. Extremely strange predicament. I am the possessor of something I desperately, badly, urgently want. I am the possessor of that. Just like having a pair of glasses. Where are the reading glasses? And you stopped reading something, so they went on the head. Then what do you do? Where did I put my glasses? Where are they? Please tell me, tell me, tell me. This person said, for a small fee, somebody will oblige. And yes. So, will I get my glasses if I meditate really hard? Do some signs of life. Say no, so we can move on. Will I get my glasses if I stand on one leg in the Ganga and meditate? No. Will I get my glasses if I go to both the temples and do puja all the time? No. What should I do to get my glasses? Just know. Just know it. Just know means what? How will I know it? Huh? I have to first ask somebody, right? I have to approach somebody. Where are my glasses? And that Shubha Chintaka means the one who wants good for you, will say, what? They are right there on your head. So no amount of action is going to make me see this. Make me see means understand. Or if somebody had a poetic bent of mind, have you looked at the mirror recently? They will say. And you look at the mirror and then you see the glasses. Mirror is the Shastra. The Shubha Chintaka, the well-wisher, is the Guru. The glasses, Atma. That is what it is. And so this is out of the realm of action. It is not what I want is not a result of action. Number one, it's out of the realm of action. Number two, it's not a result of action. This is very important to understand. And therefore, by logical conclusion, it is out of the realm of karmendriyas. What are karmendriyas? A nice sounding Sanskrit word. Organs of action. What are the organs of action? Well, first of all, 5. So 2 hands, 2 legs, right? 4. And speech, 5. No? Okay. So hands, legs, speech. The one who said nose doesn't nose. Okay? No. Hands, legs. Nose is also an organ of knowing. It will come to that. Hands, legs. Speech. The organ of speech. Don't say mouth. Organ of speech. Mouth has many, what should I say, functions. Organ of speech, excretory organs, and reproductive organs. This is the 5 karmendriyas. So the Atma is beyond the scope of the 5 karmendriyas. This is our conclusion. Based on what? Based on the fact that it is not a product of action. In fact, it's not a product at all. If it was a product, if it was put together, it will fall apart. Anything that you put together falls apart. Either now or in the next generation, it will fall apart. So it is not put together. It is not a product. It does not have a birth date. Nobody says happy birthday Atma. Why? No birth. And plus it's very inconvenient to celebrate Atma's birthday because how many candles? My goodness. No birthday, no death day, no udayati, no astam eti, no birthday, nothing to. There is nothing that is born, there is nothing that dies. It simply is, and it is I. The S in the is swallowed up. The S in the is becomes silent, and the is dissolves into I. So the Atma is out of bounds of the organs of action. Because I cannot produce the Atma. I cannot clean up the Atma. I cannot modify the Atma. I cannot go get the Atma from somewhere else. Why? Because it is myself. Out of the realm of karmendriyas. Now let us come to jnanendriya. What is jnanendriya? Sense organs. Now we come to the other list which people already started to make. What is that list? Eyes, as sight, hearing, sense of smell, sense of touch, taste. This is the 5 organs of knowing, or also called AKA sense organs. And this is very tempting. Okay, the organs of action, I have to keep my hands tied up. They are not going to lead me to the Atma, neither are the legs. Wherever the legs go, there is a dead end, detour, turn back, make a U-turn. And the U in the U-turn is spelled Y-O-U. U-turn. You turn back to yourself. Make a U-turn. Hands and legs cannot go here. But maybe the eyes can go. Maybe I can see the Atma. Whatever you see is the Atma. Seer is the Atma. But I want to see the seer. Can I go stand in front of the mirror? Yes, you can. No problem at all. When you stand in the front of the mirror, what do you see? The body. If you go to a psychic, yeah. If you go to a psychic, after Vedanta, psychic becomes sidekick. No more interested in all that. So if you go to the psychic, maybe they can read your mind. The people are very obsessed with this mind reading. Why? Think of your own thoughts, how boring they are. What did I do? Oh, that would be nice. Oh, this person doesn't look that interested in Vedanta. How did they come to the board? These are the thoughts people are having. Boring thoughts. What did I eat? Oh, yesterday's breakfast was better than today's breakfast. But mundane, boring thoughts. In fact, that's why you are here. because you cannot stand your own thoughts and you want to understand the truth of that. But imagine striving for the ability to read another person's boring thoughts. I can't think of a greater waste of time than that. Okay, let's say you go to the psychic, they are able to read your mind. They objectify your mind, but not you. You are not your mind. So, you see, what you see? You see the Swami sitting here. You don't objectify the Swami, you objectify the Swami's body. And if you can read the Swami's mind, you objectify the Swami's mind. You don't objectify the Swami because the Swami is really me. No, that's what you have to understand. That's why it is Swami. You see, there is all this synergy between Sanskrit and English. And we'll keep seeing more of them. It's so much fun. That's why Swa actually means me in Sanskrit. Swa is oneself. And me in English. Swa, that Swa is me. There's no difference. And so it is beyond the scope of the eyes. And then what to talk of the ears? Can you hear the Atma? People say, if you meditate hard enough, you will hear the unheard sound. Mahata. You hear the unheard sound in deep states of meditation. This is how people talk. Suddenly the voice changes. In deep states of meditation, you will hear a sound. Let me disabuse you of this notion. If in the deep state of meditation you hear a sound, is not the Atma. Why? The Atma is that which brings to light the hearer and the object of hearing at the same time without being either. Then, eyes ho gaya, check, ears check. What else is left? Taste. Let me taste the Atma. That also I have heard. If you go around in spiritual circles long enough, you hear lots of things. Somebody said, this Mataji, there was one lady sitting in a trance. And so they said to me, this Mataji is just tasting Atma. Tasting Atma? How? How is she tasting Atma? She did say, the assistants around her, the Bhakta Ganas, the group of devotees, said, she has some kind of a drip that comes to the back of her throat, and she tastes that and is in a trance. Got a little concerned. I said, are you sure it is not cerebral spinal fluid, dripping, and maybe she needs a checkup, because this drip is not Atma. That which drips is not Atma. That which you taste is not Atma. Why? Because Atma is the one, the truth of the one who tastes, and the taste itself is Atma. How can it be? Because it will be there. Next. What is next? Touch. Touch the Atma. Not available for touch. Asparsham. Arasam. Adreksham. Agrahyam. Not an object to be grasped. Not subject to taste. This is the Mundakopish. No color, no form. So how can you see? Doesn't have form, doesn't have color, cannot see. Then Agotram does not have birth, does not have any antecedents. Grandfather, grandmother, Atma doesn't have. Apanipadam, free of the scope of sense organs, itself does not have limbs, hands and legs. And what else is left? Sense of smell. Atma doesn't have fragrance. Atma does not put on perfume before going out. So, out of the scope of karma, what else is left? Mind? Mind is left. I can think of the Atma, maybe it is a product of thought. No, it is not a product of thought. No, but I can intuit the Atma. People say intuition. What is intuition? Intuition is a flash of insight. Okay, I can accept that intuition is a flash of insight. Where did this insight come from? The insight comes from your own memory of something that happened or two incidents that you didn't think were connected. In a flash of insight, you see a pattern. You see the pattern because it is there. The ability to see is there. That's intuition. Intuition cannot produce the Atma. Neither can Anumana, inference. Somebody tried, a philosopher tried. I think, therefore I am, he said. What was his name? Descartes. I think, therefore I am. So in sleep he ceases to exist because there are no thoughts. Let's take another example. Descartes went to a cafe. Would you like another cup of coffee, sir? The waiter said. I don't think, he said. Did he stop existing? No. Fortunately, he corrected himself. Light dawned. And he realized he was putting Descartes before Descartes. Okay? And this is what happens. So, therefore, this is you cannot say, I think, therefore I am. You are, therefore you can think. Your ability to think is because you exist. Existence precedes thought. Existence is not a product of thinking, of inference. In English, we have just one word, inference. In Sanskrit, we have two different kinds of inference. One is a simple inference. You open the window of your room, see all the roads are wet. What is the conclusion? It must have rained. You didn't see the rain, but that is the conclusion. Why? Because in the past, the same thing has happened and you remember that, you see. Then we have a slightly complex inference, multi-step, more than one step inference called arthapatti, anyatha anubhavati, arthapatti. And what is the stock example for arthapatti? The cow does not eat during the day. Really? Nearly. Whole day goes by, he is watched all day long. No food, he doesn't touch food, no fruits, nothing. And then after 1 month, he is put on the scale. Not only has he not lost weight, he has gained a few ounces. What is the conclusion? must be eating at night when nobody is looking. Or the conclusion can be Devadatta has food issues. Yeah. This is also there in the realm of coming to certain conclusions, ways of knowing. Ways of knowing are not just five in number, namely the sense organs. Ways of knowing are many more. Like this, we have inference, etc., etc. We have all this. You can't infer the Atma. You cannot do neither a single step inference nor a multi-step inference. It is beyond the scope of inference because it is the truth of the inferer. Maybe I can stumble upon the Atma. Stumbler is Atma. Stumbler cannot stumble upon herself himself. Stumbler himself is Atma. Inferer, the nature of the inferer is Atma. It's all Atma alone. So how are you going to know? Therefore, we need a new way of knowing. And that is the Veda. Not just Vedanta, the entire Veda is a means of knowledge in itself. Entire Veda. So, for example, if we say that there is a heaven, how do you know? Shastra, Veda. You know, because the Veda says so. And why does the Veda say so? Because I don't have access to heaven in any other way. There is nobody who is heaven returned, I can ask. So, what kind of a life you led? And what kind of a bungalow you got? Was it close to the king of heaven, Indra? Was it close to Indra's bungalow? How many bedrooms? And then, did you take a selfie with Indra? What does he really look like? All this I cannot ask. Nobody is available. Even if a jiva has gone to heaven and come back, you have to go through some kind of a wash cycle where the memory is gone. Mother Maya scrubs the jiva behind the ears, then sends the jiva to the loka. Doesn't remember anything. Brainwashed. Yes. Brainwashed we come. Don't remember anything. A strange sense of deja vu may persist. Strange sense of deja vu may persist. Pujya Swamiji used to always say that when he studied the Mundakopanishad, he could anticipate the next mantras. He somehow knew. He had a kind of a vague memory of having studied that. And in India, there are a lot of incidences of past life memories, but they don't last, thankfully, beyond childhood. So many stories. Only in India, in the papers we read this, in the news we read this. A 4-year-old child in Rajasthan demanded pakoras, some kind of a fried snack, savory snack. The mother said, "Oh, I'll be very happy to make them for you." The child said, "Your cooking is terrible. I want these pakoras." The mother was intrigued. What way? He just thought his childhood babble. What way? But the child was able to pinpoint the village and the house and everything and said, "I want her pakoras." So, just out of curiosity, the family drove over there. Indeed, there was the house. And one grey haired lady was there. And the child went and hugged her and said, "Oh, my dearest, how have you been?" She was shocked. Everybody was shocked. He knew all the stories of the house, every intimate details nobody would know. Where they keep the matches, where they keep the money, all these things, where they keep the keys, everything he knew. And then she did make him the pakoras, and the two families decided to never, ever, ever let this happen again. And with time, one forgets. But those are rare incidences. Nobody really remembers. So for the knowledge of Swarga, you have to rely on Veda. Why? Because the knowledge of Swarga is what we call in Sanskrit Anadhigata. Adhigata, known, Anadhigata, unknown and also unknowable. But then why does the Veda talk about Swarga? Because there is the possibility of going there. Why would I want to go there? Because it is meaningful to me, because that is within the gamut of human wants. Human beings want a secure life, and then if there is an afterlife, I want security there too. Or sometimes it's just wanderlust. I have been to Antarctica, I have been to Greenland, I have been to this land, let me see Brahmaloka and come back. There is a wanderlust. It is within the gamut of human wants, human desires. Therefore, it has meaning. Arthavat, it has meaning. It is not something meaningless. Any statement coming in the Veda is not without meaning or purpose. There is no redundancy and there is no futility. The Veda does not suffer from either redundancy or the fallacy of futility. Sometimes we don't know the meaning. We have to find out the meaning. And what is the, one example is like this. What is that? Agnihi Arodhi. Arodhi means cried. Who cried? Agni, the Lord fire, cried. Now, why should I care? It's not that I can give him a hanky because he's going to burn it anyway. Why should I care? This looks like a statement that has no purpose. But there is a purpose. Because if you read that whole section, it says that when mortals cry, what do we cry? Salty tears. Right? Saline solution comes out. When Agni cries, because he is a celestial, silver, molten silver comes out. Still, I'm not impressed. Why should I care if Agni is crying molten silver? It's not that I'm going to get that silver. No, there is a maxim here. Varhishi Rajatam Gadeyam Tasmat. Meaning, if you have a yajna at your house, you give gifts to all the people, the priests, and everybody who has assembled gets a small gift, gets prasada, gets fed. Please do not give silver. Don't give silver. Why? Because if you give silver, within 1 year, you will have a chance to cry. It is bad luck to give silver. It will make you cry and not molten silver tears, okay? Regular tears. It will make you cry, therefore don't give silver. Give gold in Kirtha. Give gold, don't give silver. So you see, the Veda is full of meaning. Saptadvipa Vasundhara. There are 7 bodies of land on this earth, it says. Amazing. It's full of meaning. Arthavat, it is meaningful to me. And then anadhikata, there is no other way of knowing this. How will you know what to do and what not to do? How will you know that you must not give silver if you invite people over for yajna? How will you know? There is no way of knowing. They continue to give silver. You just put a microscopic amount of gold and say, okay, it is. Or they'll put a little copper or something. The nice thing about the Veda is there are a lot of hacks and loopholes. Vedic hacks are there. So then, what do we do here? This is all because it is meaningful to me. The Veda doesn't want me to cry. The Veda doesn't want me to feel sad. That's why it is being a well-wisher, telling me these things I would have no way of knowing in my entire life. Anadhikata. And then what's the second condition? Arthavat. Arthabodhakam. Arthabodhakam. That which signifies that it is of meaning to you. Then one more criteria it fulfills. What is that criteria? It fulfills a promise. There are promises the Veda makes, such as, if you do this, you will get punya. And if you get punya, this is the way it will fructify. And all this is there in the end of the Ganapati Adharva Shirsha Upanishad. There are all various things that you can get out of chanting this is given. If you chant it morning and evening, you will become a Bhagmin. Bhagmin means a great orator. You can be a great orator, but what's the use if nobody is there to listen? The ability and the charisma to attract people who find you, who find that it makes sense, who find you meaningful. So the last one is Phalavat. It promises results, and we don't know how. How chanting something is going to make me an orator. That connection may not be evident, that connection is invisible, but the connection is definitely there, it exists. Phalavat, Arthavat, Anadhikata. This is why the Veda must be accepted as a pair of eyes I never knew I could. A pair of eyes that I never thought I would want. I already have a pair of eyes. Why do I want this? Because there are many things in this world, in the empirical world, Vyavaharika, that I do not know and I yet want. Many things that I want and I do not know how to get. That is one reason. And when we talk about the absolute Paramarthika, in the Paramarthika realm also, in the realm of knowing myself as the absolute, absolutely, there also there is no other way except doing namaskara to Veda. That's why it is called Veda Bhagavan. I have to develop a trust. Because suddenly this book will give me things. What will it give me? How is it relevant to me? Does it even belong to my culture? What is it going to do to me? Questions can come. But the Veda is not just for India or Indians. Because it addresses the gamut of desires that are universal. Veda is for everybody. Even though it was, so to speak, born in India or understood in India. It is still for the whole world. And even if there are other lokas where there are human-like people, for them also the so anadhikata, arthavat, palabodhakam, subodhakam. These are the three reasons why the Veda is a brand new means of knowledge, and it must be treated as much confidence I have, I give to my eyes, I must give the Veda a chance. But what is the proof that the Veda works? How do you know that the Veda works? Give me the proof at 4 o'clock. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamam Purnameva Shyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Om Hari Om